Have you ever asked yourself, how well do I really understand the people around me? Before you rush past this, take a moment to reflect. What I'm about to share isn't just another checklist of personality traits or superficial insights. It's a deep exploration of human nature through the lens of Stoicism, a philosophy that has endured for over 2 millennia. For centuries, thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca studied the essence of character, distilling wisdom that remains just as relevant in our fast-paced modern world. Their teachings reveal 5 simple yet profoundly effective ways to see a person's true nature, 5 signs that expose who someone really is beneath the surface. These principles don't just help us judge others, they challenge us to examine ourselves, fostering clarity, integrity, and wisdom in our own lives. So, grab a drink, settle in, and prepare to see human behavior in a whole new light with the Top Stoic channel. Because once you understand these timeless truths, you'll never look at people the same way again. First, don't forget to subscribe to discover new interesting things about Stoicism with us. Number 1. The true test of character. How we treat those who can't help us. For centuries, philosophers and thinkers have sought to uncover what truly defines a person's character. Is it their achievements, their words, or something far more subtle, how they treat those who hold no power over them? One of the most profound indicators of a person's moral fiber is their behavior toward those who can offer them nothing in return. This idea is deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, with Seneca famously advising, "Treat your inferiors as you would wish your superiors to treat you." These interactions, devoid of self-interest, strip away the masks people wear, exposing whether their kindness is genuine or merely a calculated strategy for personal gain. In a world that often prioritizes status and transactional relationships, this principle remains a timeless measure of integrity, not just in assessing others, but in evaluating ourselves. Everyday moments that reveal true nature, the way someone interacts with service workers, subordinates, or strangers offers an unfiltered glimpse into their core values. A simple thank you to a cashier, a warm smile for a delivery worker, or the act of holding the door open for a stranger might seem insignificant. Yet, in reality, these small gestures carry immense weight, reflecting an individual's respect for shared humanity. On the other hand, those who ignore, dismiss, or even show irritation toward people in these roles reveal a deeper truth, one rooted in arrogance, entitlement, or a fundamental lack of empathy. When a person treats waitstaff with rudeness or disregards a janitor's presence, they unknowingly expose the nature of their character. True kindness is not reserved for moments of convenience. It is displayed in everyday interactions with those who have nothing to offer in return. The power of unscripted encounters. Some of the most telling moments occur when people are caught off guard. Imagine someone rushing through a crowded street when an elderly person accidentally bumps into them. A compassionate individual might respond with a reassuring smile or a quick, "No worries." An impatient person, however, might react with frustration or even hostility. These moments of minor inconvenience, unscripted and unrehearsed, are where a person's true nature is revealed. Modern Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control external events, we can always control our reactions. The way we respond to unexpected situations reflects the values guiding our behavior. Are we quick to assume bad intentions, or do we extend patience and understanding? These choices define not just our interactions but our ability to live harmoniously with others. How we treat the vulnerable. Perhaps the most profound reflection of character lies in how someone engages with the most vulnerable members of society, the homeless, the marginalized, and those in need, offering spare change, a warm greeting, or even a moment of acknowledgement requires minimal effort, yet it signifies an immense depth of humanity. Conversely, ignoring or dismissing such individuals often signals a disconnection from our shared struggles. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, "What injures the hive, injures the bee." This Stoic understanding of interconnectedness teaches that failing to uplift others ultimately diminishes us as well. By choosing kindness in these moments, we reinforce not only the dignity of others but also our own moral integrity. The ripple effect of small acts. While grand gestures of charity may attract praise, it is the quiet, unnoticed moments of compassion that truly shape a person's legacy. The individual who consistently treats others with respect, regardless of their social or economic standing, embodies the virtues at the heart of Stoicism. They act not for recognition or personal gain, but because they genuinely believe in the inherent worth of every human being. In a fast-paced world where self-interest often prevails, these principles are more relevant than ever. Helping a janitor clean up a spill, holding the elevator for someone in a hurry, or taking a moment to listen to a stranger in distress may go unnoticed by the world. Yet, as Epictetus reminds us, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. The practice of kindness isn't about appearances, it's about living in alignment with one's deepest values. A challenge for self-reflection. These insights do more than help us evaluate others. They invite us to reflect on our own behavior. How do we treat those who can do nothing for us? Are we patient with service workers? Do we show grace in moments of inconvenience? Do we offer compassion to those who are struggling? These questions aren't rhetorical. They serve as a personal challenge, urging us to align our actions with our principles. Modern Stoicism emphasizes that while we cannot control external circumstances, we always have control over our words, actions, and attitude. The lasting impact of character. The lesson here is universal. The way someone treats those who hold no power over them is the truest measure of their character. This principle applies in both personal and professional life. Consider a leader who consistently respects their employees, listens to their concerns, and fosters a positive environment even when no one is watching. These quiet choices build trust and reflect authentic moral strength. The goal isn't just to judge others, but to use these observations as a mirror for self-improvement. By striving to treat everyone with fairness and respect, we embody the very ideals that Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius championed. Leaving a legacy of integrity. The pursuit of virtue is a lifelong journey, shaped by the daily choices we make in our interactions with others. These choices, no matter how small, define the legacy we leave behind. By consistently practicing kindness, empathy, and respect, we contribute to a more harmonious world, one quiet act at a time. After all, true character isn't revealed by what we say, but by what we do when no one is watching. And it is through these seemingly ordinary actions that we find profound meaning, not just in our own lives, but in the broader fabric of humanity. Such is the enduring wisdom of Stoicism, a guide not just for evaluating others, but for living with integrity, compassion, and resilience. Number 2. The measure of character. How we handle minor inconveniences. Life is full of small frustrations, long lines, slow internet, misplaced keys, or an unexpected delay in traffic. These moments may seem trivial, yet they serve as a powerful lens through which our true nature is revealed. While grand acts of patience and wisdom are often rehearsed, our reaction to everyday inconveniences is raw, instinctive, and deeply telling. As Epictetus wisely observed, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In many ways, our ability to navigate these small disturbances defines not only our emotional resilience but also our capacity for self-control. Modern Stoicism teaches that by mastering our response to the minor disruptions of life, we cultivate the inner strength necessary to withstand life's greater challenges. Unmasking character in small moments, the way people react to minor inconveniences speaks volumes about their emotional stability and self-awareness. Consider the diner whose meal arrives slightly cold. One person might angrily summon the server, making their frustration known to the entire restaurant, while another calmly asks for a solution or simply accepts the meal as it is. The difference is striking. One response betrays a lack of self-regulation, while the other reflects composure and perspective. Or picture two drivers stuck in a traffic jam. One furiously honks their horn, cursing under their breath, allowing their frustration to ripple outwards. The other takes a deep breath, turns on an insightful podcast, or simply uses the moment to practice patience. Though both face the same situation, their experiences differ dramatically. One is consumed by irritation, while the other finds an opportunity for personal growth. These everyday scenarios highlight a crucial truth. How we handle minor setbacks is often more revealing than how we perform in high-stakes situations. In moments where no one is watching and there is no reward for patience, our truest self emerges. The workplace as a testing ground. Nowhere is the impact of minor inconveniences more apparent than in a professional setting. Picture a colleague dealing with a technical glitch during an important meeting. One person might erupt in frustration, snapping at coworkers or blaming external factors. Another, recognizing that stress only worsens the situation, takes a deep breath and calmly works toward a solution. In these moments, leadership and resilience are on full display. A composed individual not only resolves the issue more efficiently but also sets a positive tone for those around them. Their ability to manage stress fosters a collaborative and understanding workplace culture, while an irritable reaction spreads tension, creating unnecessary discord. Marcus Aurelius captured this wisdom succinctly. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, the ability to control our responses, rather than being controlled by them, is one of the most valuable skills we can develop in both professional and personal life. Resilience in the face of the uncontrollable. The beauty of these small, daily disruptions is that they are opportunities for self-improvement. The person who smiles after receiving the wrong coffee order, perhaps even thanking the barista for their effort, demonstrates inner peace and emotional intelligence. Instead of allowing a fleeting mistake to dictate their mood, they prioritize their well-being over temporary frustrations. Such responses reflect a deeper philosophical shift. Rather than seeing inconveniences as obstacles, they can be reframed as tests of patience, reminders of what truly matters. A slow internet connection is no longer a source of frustration but a chance to take a break, stretch, or practice mindfulness. A delayed flight becomes an opportunity to catch up on reading or reflect in stillness. The Stoics understood that peace does not come from the absence of disturbances, but from learning to remain steady amid them. In this way, Handling life's small irritations with grace becomes an exercise in resilience, a habit that strengthens our ability to remain composed in more significant trials. The ripple effect of emotional control. Just as anger can spread negativity, calmness and patience can be equally contagious. Someone who explodes in frustration over a slow-moving checkout line may not realize that their irritation affects not only themselves but also those around them. Their tension seeps into the atmosphere, making the experience more unpleasant for everyone. Conversely, an individual who meets inconvenience with patience and perspective uplifts their environment. Their steadiness serves as a silent lesson to others, an example of emotional mastery in action. Seneca's wisdom applies perfectly here. A man is as unhappy as he has convinced himself he is. Dwelling on inconveniences magnifies their significance, while choosing to rise above them diminishes their power over us. By refusing to let small disruptions dictate our emotional state, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and cultivate a presence of mind that serves us in all aspects of life. Everyday trials, lasting growth, minor inconveniences are not just fleeting annoyances. They are mirrors reflecting our inner world. They reveal how we cope with unpredictability and whether we bring peace or discord into our daily interactions. Handling these moments with patience, optimism, and emotional control is not just about maintaining our own serenity, it is about creating a more harmonious world for those around us. Each time we choose calm over chaos, we inspire others to do the same. By consistently practicing emotional discipline, we embody the Stoic ideal of being an anchor in life's turbulent waters. And in doing so, we transform not only ourselves but also our communities, proving that the principles of Stoicism are not just ancient wisdom, they are practical tools for navigating both the monumental and the mundane. Would you like me to continue with the next section? Number 3. Time and commitments. The ultimate reflection of character. Time is the most precious resource we possess, yet it is often the most carelessly spent. Unlike wealth, property, or possessions, time is irreplaceable once lost. It can never be regained. The Stoic philosopher Seneca observed this with piercing clarity. We are tight-fisted with property and money, yet think too little of wasting time. This insight holds as much truth today as it did centuries ago. The way we manage our time is a direct reflection of our priorities, our values, and the depth of our self-discipline. If you want to understand a person's character, observe how they handle their commitments and schedule. The choices they make about their time reveal not only their level of responsibility but also their respect for others. Punctuality. A silent statement of respect. One of the simplest yet most telling indicators of a person's values is their punctuality. Arriving on time is more than just a habit, it is a statement. It says, I respect my commitments, and I respect you. Conversely, chronic lateness, though often dismissed as trivial, can point to deeper character flaws, disorganization, a lack of self-awareness, or even a sense of entitlement. Imagine a person who is consistently late to meetings, appointments, or social gatherings. Though they may offer excuses, their actions send a clear message. My time is more valuable than yours. Would you trust someone who repeatedly demonstrates such a mindset? The Stoics teach us to judge people not by their words but by their actions, and few actions speak louder than the way someone honors or disregards the time of others. Keeping commitments under pressure. Time management is not just about scheduling, it is a test of integrity. Keeping commitments, especially in challenging circumstances, is a mark of reliability and strength. Consider a colleague who consistently meets deadlines. Even under pressure, their ability to follow through builds trust and reinforces their credibility. Compare this to someone who routinely overpromises and underdelivers, causing delays, disruptions, and frustration. In Stoic philosophy, keeping one's commitments is not merely an act of self-discipline. It is a demonstration of respect for others. A promise made should be a promise kept. In both personal and professional relationships, a person's reliability can determine the strength of their connections and their long-term success. How do the people in your life handle their promises? Do they align their actions with their words? And, just as importantly, do you? The value of free time. A person's free time is a mirror of their inner world. How they choose to spend their unstructured hours reveals what they truly prioritize. Picture someone who devotes their weekends to volunteering, spending quality time with family, or pursuing personal growth. Now contrast that with another person who spends the same hours endlessly scrolling on social media, binge-watching television, or engaging in mindless distractions. Leisure is important, and relaxation is necessary for a balanced life. However, excessive time spent on meaningless activities often signals a deeper issue: a lack of purpose, direction, or self-discipline. The Stoics remind us that time should be treated as a gift, not wasted thoughtlessly. What do your own habits say about your priorities? If you could observe yourself from the outside, would you be satisfied with how you use your time? If not, what small shifts could help align your actions with your values? Time management as a measure of empathy. Beyond personal discipline, time management is also a measure of empathy. A person who values the time of others demonstrates fairness, thoughtfulness, and consideration. Consider a professional who arrives at meetings fully prepared, sticks to schedules, and avoids unnecessary delays. Their efficiency shows respect for the collective effort required to function as a team. Now picture someone who frequently wastes others' time through poor preparation, last-minute cancellations, or a general lack of accountability. Their actions suggest a disregard for shared efforts and a sense of self-importance. Balancing personal needs with the needs of others requires mindfulness. How often do we cause others to wait because of our lack of planning? How do we react when others are careless with our time? These small yet significant moments shape our interactions and influence the way people perceive us. Adaptability. The Stoic approach to time and change. Even the most carefully planned schedules can be disrupted. Life is unpredictable. The true test of character is not just how well we plan, but how we respond when those plans fall apart. A Stoic approach to time management includes not only discipline but also adaptability. Imagine two friends planning a trip. When the itinerary suddenly changes due to unforeseen circumstances, one calmly adjusts, suggesting alternative plans, while the other spirals into frustration and blame. Which person would you rather rely on? The ability to handle unexpected changes with grace is a sign of emotional resilience and a balanced perspective. The Stoics teach us to accept what we cannot control and focus on what we can. A rigid mindset leads to unnecessary stress, while flexibility fosters peace and problem-solving. When time does not unfold as expected, do you resist or adapt? The final currency. How we spend our lives. Observing someone's relationship with time is like looking through a window into their soul. Do they invest their time in what truly matters? Are they reliable, considerate, and adaptable? Time, as the Stoics remind us, is the only resource that once spent cannot be replenished. Those who manage time wisely demonstrate not only personal maturity but a profound respect for life itself. Ask yourself, how do you treat your time, and what does it say about you? Mastering this Stoic principle allows us to understand others more deeply and refine our own approach to life. Aligning our time with our values leads to a life of purpose, integrity, and fulfillment. As Seneca so poignantly said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." The question remains, how will you choose to spend the time you have left? If you had to choose one, which do you believe reveals the most about a person's true character? How they treat people who cannot benefit them, how they handle minor inconveniences, how they value time and commitments. Drop your answer in the comments below. And don't forget to stay until the end. There's a surprising insight waiting for you. Number 4. Character in the shadows. The power of unseen actions. A person's true nature is most vividly revealed in the moments when they believe no one is watching. This idea, deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, speaks to the essence of integrity, doing what is right not for recognition or reward but because it aligns with one's principles. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, emphasized that living in harmony with reason requires unwavering consistency, regardless of external scrutiny. True virtue, then, is not about appearances, it is about the choices we make when there are no apparent consequences. Imagine a simple, everyday scenario. Returning a shopping cart at a grocery store. It seems trivial, yet it is a small but powerful test of personal responsibility. The person who takes the time to return the cart, even in bad weather or when pressed for time, demonstrates a deep respect for order and collective well-being. In contrast, someone who leaves the cart drifting in the parking lot signals an attitude of indifference, a belief that their convenience outweighs communal responsibility. Public spaces as unintentional stages of character. In shared environments, people often reveal their true selves without even realizing it. Take, for instance, a workplace break room. Some individuals instinctively clean up after themselves, refill the coffee pot, and dispose of trash properly, not because they are required to, but because they understand the unspoken social contract of shared spaces. Their actions, though minor, communicate accountability, thoughtfulness, and respect for others. On the other hand, those who neglect such duties, leaving dishes in the sink, ignoring messes, or using communal supplies without replenishing them, demonstrate a mindset that prioritizes personal ease over collective harmony. These seemingly small choices are reflective of deeper values. The person who respects shared spaces likely extends that same level of integrity to more significant aspects of life. The ultimate test. Honesty when no one is watching. Few things reveal character more starkly than honesty in unmonitored situations. When someone stumbles upon a lost wallet filled with cash, their decision speaks volumes. A person who chooses to return it, despite the temptation to keep it, showcases a moral compass that transcends immediate self-interest. This aligns with Epictetus's belief that it is not what happens to us, but how we react that defines us. On the other hand, the individual who takes what is not theirs, believing that no one will ever know, exposes a willingness to compromise ethics for fleeting gain. Trustworthiness is not about the fear of being caught, but about an intrinsic commitment to doing what is right. Workplace integrity. Effort when no one is watching. The professional world offers another lens through which unseen actions reveal true character. Consider two employees. One who diligently meets deadlines, acknowledges the contributions of colleagues, and upholds high standards, even when no one is checking. The other cuts corners, avoids responsibilities, and takes credit for work they did not do. The first person operates from a mindset of self-discipline and accountability, core Stoic virtues. Their motivation is not external validation but an internal commitment to excellence. The second, by contrast, bases their efforts on external monitoring, doing only what is necessary to avoid consequences. Such individuals may appear competent in the short term, but their lack of integrity inevitably erodes trust and credibility. In any setting, the most reliable people are those whose standards remain high even when no one is watching. These individuals do not need supervision to act responsibly. They embody their values consistently. Regardless of circumstance, selfless acts without expectation. Some of the most profound displays of character come in the form of small, selfless acts performed with no expectation of recognition. Donating anonymously, standing up for someone in distress, or helping a stranger without seeking praise reflects a commitment to virtue for its own sake. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This idea reminds us that true goodness is not about seeking approval or recompense but about living in a way that aligns with our deepest principles. Quiet acts of kindness, holding a door open, offering help, or simply treating others with patience, demonstrate an internalized moral compass rather than a desire for external validation. The habits that shape who we are in private shapes who we become in public. The habits we develop in unseen moments, whether they involve responsibility, honesty, or kindness, lay the foundation for how we navigate life's larger challenges. Marcus Aurelius's wisdom, "What we do now echoes in eternity," serves as a reminder that even the smallest actions have lasting significance. The way we behave when we believe no one is watching shapes our character far more than the things we do in the spotlight. By observing how people act in unguarded moments, we gain insight into their deepest values. More importantly, these reflections challenge us to examine our own unseen behaviors. Are we the same person in private as we are in public? Do we hold ourselves accountable, even when no one is there to witness it? The challenge of integrity in the modern age. In today's world, where social media and surveillance have turned much of life into a performance, the concept of unseen integrity has become even more critical. Modern Stoicism teaches that our worth is not determined by likes, followers, or external accolades but by our ability to remain true to our values. Regardless of recognition, returning a shopping cart, cleaning up after oneself, or honoring commitments in private may seem insignificant. Yet, these choices weave the very fabric of our character. They remind us that the path to integrity begins with small, personal decisions, each one reinforcing a life guided by virtue. When we embrace this awareness, we transform our relationship with the world. Instead of seeking external validation, we find fulfillment in knowing we have acted in alignment with our principles. By striving for consistency between our private actions and public persona, we not only set an example for others but also cultivate a profound sense of self-worth. Number 5. The true measure of power, a reflection of character. Power, in all its forms, is one of the greatest tests of character. It serves as a magnifying glass, revealing a person's values, maturity, and sense of responsibility. The Stoics understood that power does not change who we are, it merely amplifies our true nature, illuminating either our virtues or our weaknesses. Whether it takes the form of leadership in a workplace, influence in personal relationships, or even control over privileged information, how one handles power speaks volumes about their inner strength. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, captured this sentiment when he wrote, "The true worth of a man is measured by the objects he pursues." When power is guided by virtue, it becomes a force for good, not just for the individual who wields it, but for those around them. A leader who exercises authority with wisdom, humility, and fairness fosters trust, collaboration, and respect. Conversely, those who misuse power, whether by controlling, manipulating, or belittling others, expose their own insecurity, mistaking dominance for strength. Leadership as a responsibility, not a privilege. A leader's approach to power defines not only their success but also the environment they cultivate. Imagine a newly promoted team leader. If they approach their position with humility, engaging with their team, understanding individual strengths, and addressing challenges fairly, they create a space where people feel valued and empowered. This kind of leadership is not about asserting control but about service. By prioritizing the well-being of the group over personal ego, they inspire loyalty and motivation, reinforcing the idea that true authority is rooted in respect rather than fear. On the other hand, a leader who abuses their position, hoarding resources, dismissing others' contributions, or using their authority to intimidate, reveals a lack of confidence masked as control. Such individuals often equate power with superiority, prioritizing their own gain over the well-being of the group. Their leadership fosters resentment, weakens morale, and ultimately erodes trust. As Epictetus wisely noted, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Those who misuse power are often ruled by their own insecurities, allowing their need for control to undermine their integrity. The silent influence of holding information. Power does not always manifest in grand gestures. Sometimes, it operates in subtle ways. Consider the influence of privileged information. When someone is entrusted with confidential details, whether in a workplace, friendship, or family setting, their decision on how to handle that knowledge reveals their true character. A person of integrity respects the trust placed in them, choosing discretion over gossip. They recognize that information is a responsibility, not a weapon. In contrast, those who misuse confidential details, spreading rumors, using knowledge to manipulate, or breaking trust for personal gain, demonstrate a lack of ethical grounding. These small choices may seem inconsequential, but they create ripple effects, reinforcing the idea that character is shaped not by grand actions but by the subtle, everyday moments of decision. Compassion and fairness in positions of power. One of the most telling signs of character is how someone wields power in moments of pressure. A manager faced with a difficult decision can either approach the situation with empathy and fairness or react with impulsiveness and disregard for others. Those who take the time to listen to different perspectives, consider the impact of their choices, and balance firmness with kindness exhibit both emotional intelligence and moral clarity. This ability to lead with both strength and understanding earns the respect of those they oversee. In contrast, leaders who make decisions based solely on personal convenience or a desire to assert dominance breed resentment and distrust. Seneca's words resonate here. He is a great man who can treat his inferiors with kindness as well as his equals. The true measure of a leader is not how they treat their superiors, but how they treat those who rely on their guidance. Power in personal relationships. A test of integrity. Power is not confined to formal leadership roles. It exists in personal relationships as well. In friendships, families, and romantic partnerships, influence is constantly at play. The question is, do we use that influence to uplift, support, and strengthen bonds, or do we exploit it for personal gain? Consider a disagreement between partners. A person with integrity navigates conflict with patience and respect, avoiding coercion, guilt-tripping, or emotional manipulation. They recognize that true strength lies in understanding and compromise, not in overpowering the other person. Those who use their influence to control or diminish their partner reveal a fundamental weakness in their character. It is in these everyday moments that the principles of Stoicism find their deepest relevance. Power is not about control, it is about responsibility. How we handle influence in our personal relationships determines the depth and trustworthiness of our connections. The nature of power. A double-edged sword. Power, in itself, is neither good nor bad. It is simply a tool. Its value depends entirely on how it is wielded. Epictetus's reminder that people are not disturbed by things, but by their judgments about things, encourages us to reflect on our own perceptions of power. When we see power as an opportunity for responsibility rather than as a privilege, it transforms into a force for positive change. History and modern life alike provide countless examples of individuals who used power to inspire and uplift, as well as those who allowed it to corrupt them. Observing how someone handles power not only reveals their character but also challenges us to reflect on our own actions. Are we using the influence we have, however great or small, to build or to break, to help or to harm, leaving a legacy through power? Power is not merely a test, it is an opportunity. Those who wield it with wisdom, humility, and empathy leave behind a legacy of trust, respect, and inspiration. They remind us that the greatest leaders are not those who demand obedience, but those who earn loyalty through fairness and integrity. In both personal and professional relationships, the way we navigate power shapes the world around us. By choosing to lead with virtue, we embody the best of what Stoicism teaches: strength through self-mastery, leadership through service, and influence through integrity. As we observe how power operates in others, we should also examine our own behavior. Are we using our influence to contribute to harmony, growth, and mutual respect, or are we allowing it to serve only our own interests? Ultimately, the way we handle power is one of the most profound reflections of our character. In the moments when we hold authority, whether in small, everyday interactions or in major leadership roles, our choices define not only how others perceive us, but who we truly are. So, you have just joined the Top Stoic channel to explore in detail the 5 most obvious signs to immediately see a person's true nature. They are: 1. Treat those who can't help them. 2. Handle minor inconveniences. 3. Deal with time and commitments. 4. Act when unseen. 5. Handle power. Character is not defined by words but by actions, especially in moments of challenge, pressure, and power. To truly understand someone, observe how they handle stress, value time, act in private, and manage power. These simple yet profound principles not only help us assess others but also guide us in refining our own character. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." By recognizing these 5 signs, we gain insight into who people truly are, not just who they claim to be.